Of Coromandel joining in. So morning and good to have you on the show. So let's get the basic rates out of the way first. I believe that the effective rate on fertilizer stands at now 5% versus the earlier effective tax rate of 12%. But the inputs that are going in, they are being taxed at much higher rates. Isn't that so? In that case, how are you coping with the whole changeover?
Yeah, I think the inputs are at 18%. So as it stands today, we have to get a refund. But, I'm quite hopeful because even on this 5%, there were a lot of discussions, and I think finally the government realized that they don't want the prices to go up to the farmers ultimately. So the input issue is that a value addition in this industry is very low. So if the input is 18%, then a lot of money is stuck for refund. So I'm sure they will address it because for certain sectors like exports, they've given the refund back in 7 days, 90% of it. But what they have requested is that the input also be reduced to 5% because phosphoric acid, for instance, is imported only for the fertilizer industry. So there's no sense in having that at 18 and having output at 5.
So you want the input tax credit also to be lower to 5%?
Yeah, because, if you look at GST overall, I think the objectives are three. One is, all manufacturers in the value chain should be in the tax net. Two, Make in India should become more competitive. And three, there should be an ease of operation. So I think in the first one, they have achieved very well. All manufacturers, small, medium, unorganized, places like SSP, spurious products, they will all have to come into the tax net. I think that's done well. Make in India more competitive will be done if the refund is made, if it is made 5% input and output, then I think the value addition is low, but we will become more competitive. Ease of operation, we don't want to be stuck like subsidy. This refund will add up to the subsidy and then we will be owing money to the banks. That's not the idea. I think that's not their intention. I'm sure this anomaly will be sorted out in the next few weeks, and they're going to have GST council meetings every Saturday, and I'm sure this will work well.
Okay, just a word on the market. It's moving a bit towards the low point, 9628 on the Nifty, but ICICI Prudential is a stock which stands out now, up 3.5%, top F&O gainer right now. Mr. Vellayan, good morning. So, let's talk about this year as a whole because, we're talking about second successive good monsoon. Last year was good for you in terms of EBITDA and profit. Do you think FY18 could be better?
You see, we're just near our quarterly results, so I'm not able to comment on it. But overall, I would trend that the market is going to be positive because the monsoon is good, and the stocks on the ground are much less. And clearly, with the GST and the way the commodity prices are soft, it's much better for the local value addition.
Mr. Vellayan, just a quick clarification, follow-up on the first point of discussion, which is this ITC. Now, yes, of course, ideal case scenario, you would want inputs to be also taxed at 5%. But until the government moves to that, we're talking 18% and 5%. If receipts or if the refunds take a lot of time to come through, is that going to start holding up a lot of cash? Could it at all create any sort of a working capital issue?
No, we have actually pointed out the anomaly to the GST Council that for imports today it's 5 and 5. So if you import DAP and sell DAP, it's 5 and 5. So I don't think anywhere the intention of the government is to penalize domestic manufacturers. So otherwise it goes against the grain of Make in India if you say import raw material, add value here and wait for refund. So I think they will set it right.
Okay, so
so what happens to fertilizer prices in a regime where the output is taxed at 5% and the inputs are taxed at 18% as of now?
Well, what has happened, there are two things. One is there's some pipeline stocks and the other is the fresh production. So because of this last-minute change, I think most companies are working out and coming out with their prices in the next couple of days. So I don't see much of a change. I think this is overall positive. But the exact numbers I'm not able to tell you because, of just the last-minute changes. And you see, also on the input, what they did for phosphatics, Now, the rock phosphate is at 5%, but phosphoric acid and ammonia is at 18. So if you go further down the value chain, they've adjusted it correctly. But phosphoric acid, they've classified it as broad classification chemicals. What they need to do is to sub-classify as phosphoric acid fertilizer, and it can't be used for anything else.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Vellayan. Thanks a lot for your time today. That's Coromandel International.